Hello everyone, my name is Danish Buns and welcome to this episode of A Noob's Review. This is the gaming show where I bring you relatively unknown games or new releases and try and provide some background information on their actual functionality as well as my overall opinion. Today I'm going to be talking about a game called Dungeonbowl. Now this game is based off the original Blood Bowl created by Games Workshop, and it is a turn-based strategy game involving you managing and building a team of football players who get to wield swords and other crazy archaic weapons like that. So as soon as you enter the game, the first thing you have to do is build and manage your team. Now you get to choose from a selection of 3 different types of characters and then get to move into what types of players you actually want to have on your team. Now you get a bunch of standard football players that you're probably used to, linebackers, throwers, and catchers, though I don't think they're actually named that, but I don't know much about football anyways. But then you also get people like tree men and war dancers, and I'm pretty sure these are specific to whatever race you actually select in the initial portion of your team creation. You actually do get a bunch of different characters when you select different races, but they both appear to have similar attack and defense qualities, though some may have a special ability that allows you to take advantage of some random scenario that may occur, which is what you'd expect to see in a strategy game. You want to see that players can actually take advantage of their characters by using them specifically for the purpose that they were made for. Now, after you've built your team, as you play games, you're going to earn and accumulate money, which you're going to use to upgrade your teams and give them a little bit more of an advantage while playing. Now, I haven't gotten too far in the game, so I haven't been able to purchase any of these upgrades, but it seems like you can add characters to the field while you're playing, as well as giving them temporary boosts to have them play much more effectively. The next thing that I want to explain is the way the actual gameplay works. Now what you're supposed to do as you're playing the game is search through all the chests in the game and find the ball. Now what you have to do with this ball is travel it to your opponent's end and score it in their goal. Now the thing is, there are actually obstacles all over the map, such as spikes and succubines. Actually, let's be honest, the succubines are more of a distraction than an obstacle, but I think you get what I mean. Other players can also interact with you and knock you down or out of the game, which means that you can actually slowly have your team deteriorate until you have practically no players left to play. Now, degenerating the other team using attrition is but one of the strategies actually put to use. You can also use your character's abilities as well as the portals placed all over the map to try and sneak around the other team or distract them long enough to get the ball in the opposite zone. And once you've got that ball in the opposite zone, that is a victory for your team and you have successfully won the match. This game also has a dungeon editor which allows you to go and build your own map using a wide variety of different equipments and environments to build it. So essentially you're given a wide variety of different floor tiles, stationary objects, and death traps to use while shaping a map to have players really want to tear their eyes out. Now overall, I do have to say that I relatively enjoyed this game. It did have a bunch of quirky aspects and did differentiate between the different characters enough so that I actually got a little bit of complexity to it while still managing to enjoy myself and try and think of ways to outmaneuver and outplay my opponent. I also enjoyed the fact that the management capability in the game actually allows you to take a lot of control over the way your team is actually going to function and gives you the ability to build your team in a way that would allow you to take advantage of a certain strategy or role while playing the game. Now, there were some negative aspects of the game that I should highlight right now, one of them being the fact that there was a severe lack of a tutorial system in the game. Now once you hop in, you're expected to immediately start playing, and the problem with this is that none of us know how to play. Now there is a PDF explaining the gameplay mechanics of the game, but nowadays gamers really need something that actually gets them involved in playing the game rather than having them read a manual. With so many games producing really well thought tutorials, you need something that actually allows a player to interact with the game and learn the game firsthand rather than have them read it from a manual. Another issue I had with this game was the fact that it was purely multiplayer. Now you may be saying, wait, Danish, there are lots of games that are purely multiplayer and are really good, and you're absolutely right, but there are also a lot of failed games that tried to go multiplayer and couldn't manage it. The issue stems from the fact that you need a lot of players to actually have a functional multiplayer scene. Now when I was trying to play this game, I actually had to wait approximately 20 minutes before I can actually get to play the game. This is really bad for new players because they'll be turned off by the fact that they have to wait for this game. And since first impressions are important, they will not enjoy this game as much due to the fact that they did have to wait. Now, your game could be absolutely amazing, awe-inspiring, but if you have to wait 30 to 40 minutes just to get in and play it, it's going to leave a really negative impact on the game and people aren't going to want to play it very much. So this is something that game developers have to be really aware of when they're trying to make a multiplayer game. You need a large enough base of players before you can actually have a really functional multiplayer game, and if you're starting off as an indie company and saying, I want to go pure multiplayer, you're going to have a really tough time at getting those people to want to play your game and to really get into it if there are not that many people playing the game in the first place. Now, overall, I did have to say that this game was relatively enjoyable when it came to the gameplay mechanics, but that multiplayer aspect and the fact that I have to wait so long just to get into a game was really a big negative while playing the game. That's it for me though, guys. Thank you for watching this episode of the Noob's Review. If you guys have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. You can also send me an email at camelsilo@gmail.com. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.